Okay, I just started stream. Forgive me if this is a little all over the place. I'm going to do my best, but this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while here. ICE deaths in concentration camps. More vaguely, I guess, just ICE in general is something that I've been wanting to discuss. ICE is not good, folks. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been going crazy. We all remember the deaths of... God, I'm so bad at names. This is not because I'm trying to be a shithead or anything. I just am very bad at names. Renee Good and Alec's Pretty. Not great. And that's just two of the deaths that have taken place and the ones that we've heard most about, but there have been deaths all over the place. ICE is rapidly expanding detention camps into warehouses despite record deaths. This is from April of 2026, but I want to go over it real quick just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at here. Immigration and Customs Enforcement recently announced the death of another person in its custody, the 17th person in 2026, and that was back in April. It is now June 7th as of this recording, so it has probably increased since then, if I had to guess. And that's just the ones that they've reported, by the way. We have no reason to trust them. Deaths inside of the immigration detention centers are rising and now occur at a rate of roughly 1 every 6 days. Jesus Christ. Since the start of President Donald Trump's mass deportation campaign, more than 40 people have died in immigration detention, the highest number recorded in such a short period. They're not isolated tragedies, but the predictable outcome of a system rife with neglect, abuse, and impunity. This is from the ACLU, by the way, so it is, like, obviously biased in one direction, but that's fine. It's biased toward reality. Recent deaths span multiple facilities with documented medical failures and unsafe conditions. At Fort Bliss, the Florence Correctional Center, and the Adelanto ICE Processing Center, individuals have died from homicide, untreated infections, and delayed emergency care. In many cases, advocates and medical experts have found these deaths to be preventable. For example, a tooth infection was left untreated until it turned septic, or a chronic condition was ignored until it led to organ failure. Having seen somebody with a tooth infection that almost went septic, it's bad. Like, this guy's face swelled to a crazy degree. It got so bad that it actually started impacting his throat and he couldn't swallow. So imagine that, but like way worse. Like, the infection spreads and just kills you. It kills you. Like, this guy died of a tooth infection. That's unacceptable in the richest nation on earth. That is unacceptable. I don't give a f what he did. The ACLU and our partners have repeatedly documented standard medical care and the routine withholding or delay of medical records within ICE facilities. Against the backdrop of this mounting death toll, ICE is rapidly expanding its detention infrastructure. Under what it calls a detention re-engineering initiative, the agency is working to acquire more than 20 warehouses to be converted to detention facilities, with some already purchased at prices well above market value, including a Maryland warehouse that was appraised for $76.8 million in June and sold to the federal government for $102.4 million in January. They're spending your tax money on concentration camps, just so you know. ICE is adopting a hub and spoke model with 8 large-scale detention centers and more processing sites. If successful, this plan would increase the detention capacity to 96,600 people at any given time. ICE has already bought at least 10 warehouses and begun repurposing several into mass holding sites. These facilities range from 500-bed processing centers to sprawling compounds intended to cage up 10,000 people at a time. I'm going to skip down to loss of life, just to give you guys an idea. From the internment of Japanese Americans to the mass detention of Jewish people across Europe to the confinement of kidnapped Africans across aboard ships during the transatlantic slave trade, history offers stark warnings on targeting entire populations for confinement. Used under the guise of policy and profit, large-scale detention to control or exclude certain groups has consistently resulted in widespread human rights and abuses and loss of life. Particularly alarming because the warehouse plan appears to be designed recklessly and callously. Under the Trump administration, I can't imagine. Many of the proposed warehouse facilities are located far from airports and deportation hubs, raising doubts about why they are being used at all. The shift appears driven less by logistical necessity than by optics, to make detention so harsh and degrading that people abandon their legal claims and to create visibly punitive conditions that deter others from migrating. For Stephen Miller's detention system, cruelty is the point. Speaking of Stephen Miller, that's a good segue. You can read the rest of this article. I haven't read all of it, but it is a good one about the horrific things that are happening at detention centers. Sorry, I said a different guy. Who did I say just now? Stephen Miller. This is Homan. So hold on. Okay, so Stephen Miller's the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, and that's this guy. And then Tom Homan, an American law enforcement officer, and designated as the border czar. So that's the difference. So rough segue, but nonetheless, I just wanted to go over a little bit of this. Homan denies substandard conditions at a New Jersey ICE detention center, says he ate there. The spaghetti was good. Thank you, Tom Homan. Now, just keep in mind all of the horrific shit that we read about. Just like this is the equivalent of a Nazi general, like strolling into a concentration camp and being like, "Ah, but they had good spaghetti." Dosie's gonna kill me for that accent. White House border czar Tom Homan defended the conditions and services at a federal immigration detention facility in New Jersey that had been at the center of protests for over a week, calling allegations of substandard conditions there not factual. "I toured the whole facility. Is it a 5-star resort? No. But is it a well-run detention facility? Yes," Homan told CBS News in his first broadcast interview since visiting Delaney Hall on Saturday. Homan mentioned he had some of the food offered to detainees during the visit. "The spaghetti was good," he said, "and I'm a pretty big guy, and I didn't finish the meal. I couldn't finish the meal." This is such bullshit. They're literally being fed. They did not feed you what they feed the prisoners, dog. That's a straight up lie. There's a lie. Here's the full interview. 15 minutes, 29 seconds. I don't know if I want to watch the whole thing. We'll just get a little taste.
The Delaney Hall detention facility in New Jersey has been at the center of protests and clashes for more than a week now. You were just there, Tom. What did you see? Because there are a lot of concerns raised by advocates and lawmakers about that detention center.
Yeah, the concerns are not factual, though. Give me the facts. Give me the details, right? So I went up there. First thing I did was toured the facility. Then in addition to that, I met.
So this is the border czar, this disgusting old.
I met with the state troopers. I met with the mayor. I've also had several conversations with the governor, trying to like the same thing I did in Minneapolis, trying to get us all working in unison to increase public safety. So look, I toured the facility. I went through the entire facility. I went through medical. I went through indoor rec.
You're starting to sound like Chopper when it comes to bringing people to health. I feel like that's pretty cute. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Indoor rec.
I love Chopper.
I went into the cafeteria. I went into the bathrooms and the showers.
Tony
I toured
Chopper.
the whole facility. Is it a 5-star resort? No. But is it a well-run detention facility? Yes. And
that was referring to me probably before the segment. I didn't read it. I was talking about a book I'm reading, Why We Sleep, which is a very good book. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker.
Say it again. I've said
very
this
good book.
Throughout the last year and a half. We have the highest detention standards in the industry. If any of these people went to Delaney and saw what they saw, and they want to make stories up about, ICE detention standards, go take a walk through Essex County Jail.
You can barely
go take
talk.
A walk through the state prison system. I guarantee you our detention standards are better, and our medical staff per detainee is higher. So I went to the facility myself.
Okay, then you have to explain the medical deaths. Explain the medical deaths. That shouldn't be happening. Not from a tooth infection, certainly.
And one of the things I heard was, the food was terrible. I made an unannounced visit there on Saturday. I sat down in the cafeteria with the detainees and ate the same meal
I'm sure.
And again, was it a 5-star cuisine? No, but it was spaghetti and meat sauce. It was green beans. It was charred beans. It was a butter.
I guarantee you at least 50% of this is a lie. Did he actually eat with detainees? No, there's no way. He may have eaten in the same room as them, but he was surrounded by by guards, okay? There's no shot. And they absolutely gave him better food. Like, they knew he was coming. If they had better food that day, it's because they knew he was coming. They regularly, I'm not saying every single meal is bad that they get. But they get shit meals. There's been report of like mold and maggots in the meals. Dubsy, throw something on the screen about that. Like literally maggots in the meals. Hello, Jazz Dog.
And bread. It was fruit drinks. It was a dessert that I didn't eat, but the spaghetti was good.
No, I've seen enough of this guy. This isn't the main thing that I wanted to cover. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the like sick satanic shit that these guys are saying about the detention facilities, the concentration camps, if you will. I also wanted to go over this Fox News clip. So of course people are upset about this and going out and protesting. Fox News, of course, is calling it riots. This is a clip from them that I saw that I wanted to go over. Fox News Digital uncovers far left groups funding anti-ICE riots. Now this is news to me. I haven't heard of any far left groups funding these quote-unquote riots, but maybe Fox News has something here. Maybe Antifa's on one. Let's take a look.
President Trump's immigration enforcement agenda, the U.S. Senate earlier this morning,
of course,
passed
I hate Laura Ingraham, dude.
$70 billion funding package for immigration and customs
She's such a
enforcement,
creature.
or ICE, and Border Patrol. It was all night long as a debate. Now the bill goes to the House next week. And the vote follows weeks of rioting outside of ICE detention centers, particularly in Newark, New Jersey. Look at this, the left side of your screen. A Fox investigation shows Some
gonna
100
look at the right
far-left
side.
groups have bankrolled and deeply coordinated the chaos. And those
Wait, this is all protective gear. You have like a bike helmet here.
rioters even had well-stocked supply tents that included snacks and books and games.
Yeah, all of these are instigated by the ICE officers themselves. Look at these thugs.
Had well-stocked supply tents that included snacks and books and games. You know what? This looks just like it did on the campuses, those Ivy League campuses, when they were raging with their anti-Semitic and Jewish hate groups on those campuses last year. Interesting. I want to know is
Oh yeah, they're so concerned about anti-Semitism, right? Yeah.
money coming from some of the same places? The ACLU and the Democrat Socialists of America are among the groups. And all told, they have a combined annual...
Wait, they get grassroots funding. All of their funding is grassroots. They're not like funded by billionaire super PACs or anything. They collect donations. So yeah, they're like using that money possibly to fund supplies, safety supplies for these protests. That's what the money goes towards. And that's what the people want, by the way. Okay? People are fine with their money going toward that because right now their tax money is going toward ICE. So something's got to give.
Revenue of about $825 million
100
per
groups.
year.
I guarantee you they're talking about like, okay, they would have not just mentioned ACLU and the DSA and then say, oh, it's over 100 groups, by the way. We can't even give 3 examples, but trust us, it's over 100 groups. They broke up the DSA into like all of its subgroups and said that they're like collectively funding these protests.
Secretive
I guarantee you that's what they did.
reveal the orchestration
Secret
of the
group
outrage.
chats.
The groups ask people to
Call it a concentration camp, not a detention center. Share clips of ICE encounters that clearly show ICE as the aggressors. Make a broader link to the network of concentration camps across the U.S. Well, yeah, that all sounds good to me. Don't call them detainees. Instead, use people or captives. Yes. I mean, people is literally like that. People? You can't call them people? Guys, they want us to call them people. Don't call them detention centers or facilities. Call them concentration camps. Yes, they are concentration camps. Don't say people were arrested. By the way, this throws me off. It says do and then like you just insert the do in all these bullet points. But then like on this side it says don't, but it has don't at the beginning of all these. Somebody missed the ball there or dropped the ball. Don't say people were arrested by ICE as that implies they did something wrong. Say that they were kidnapped or abducted or taken. That is literally more accurate. An arrest requires a warrant from a judge. ICE don't need warrants. They can just literally take you. They could knock down my door and take me and there's not shit that I could do about it. Isn't that frightening?
share videos to make ICE
That should
look
scare
bad.
the shit out of you.
It also tells them to call the facility a concentration camp. And the illegals who were arrested, captives, who've been kidnapped
Illegals.
or abducted. Here's former DHS
Call them
senior
people.
advisor Charles
Ew.
Marino.
I call them
no
illegals.
surprise that this is all extremely organized and coordinated on the financial side. On the other material support side, like
Where's
these
the
supplies that we see being dropped.
Okay, once again, I don't know about the ACLU, but the DSA gets all of its money from grassroots funding. I literally am a donor. I'm pretty sure I'm still on their monthly donation roll. I give them like $5 a month.
The vicinity of Delaney Hall. And finally,
Then you should
also
too.
on the communication side, they're told to use those buzzwords to invite, incite, facilitate, and basically bring forward everything that we are seeing play out outside of that detention facility.
That's all from, like, they do this to be scary. All of this is from the ICE officers, the ICE thugs. Yeah, $5 a month. Yeah,
In
the
Focus
quote
now,
carrot chats.
Trump, host of My View on Saturday nights, Pop Your Corn, Your Night is Made.
I give more than that to the DSA. You're a better person than I am. Good job.
This continues. It's
Be
like the
better than
next
me.
chapter
Give more.
in this.
Yeah, well, it is really crazy. It, by the way, should surprise no one that all of this is being orchestrated and paid for. This is very indicative, Harris, I think, of generally who the Democrats are at this.
Oh, wait, was
Criminals
it?
back
Sorry,
out.
I didn't mean to
This
skip forward.
continues.
Oh, is that? I thought this was Laura Ingraham. It sounded like Laura Ingraham.
It's like the next chapter in this.
Yeah, well, it is really crazy. It, by the way, should surprise no one that all of this is being orchestrated and paid for. This is very indicative,
It is, in fact, not
Harris,
Laura
I
Ingraham.
think,
That's
of
fine.
generally who the Democrats are at this point. There's zero authenticity at all, it seems like, to this party, and that includes their protests and demonstrations. You talked about what we saw on college campuses. Let's think back to the Summer of Love riots. And
What do you mean there's zero authenticity? What does that mean? What do you mean there's no authenticity? Who do you think these people people are, like deep state operatives. You are the deep state.
Now we all know those were now paid for. Let's look at the No Kings protests, paid for. Let's look at the outrage against Elon Musk and the vandalism of Teslas, paid for. Or now we learned that the Southern Poverty Law Center was behind the Charlottesville hoax.
It's got to be George Soros, right? Soros funded riots and looting and shooting and hooting and hollering and whatever else, right? It's got to be George Soros.
They all kind of go with the same model, which is that you have these far left groups who are bankrolling all of this activity, these protests and this uproar against Republicans.
Using money that they make from grassroots funding, okay, to the extent that they are funding anything here, which is usually just defensive equipment, mind you, okay? They're not tossing smoke bombs. They're not using drones. This is defensive equipment or water or snacks, like things that keep people alive. And I'm all for that.
And the goal is to try to divide America. And the problem
Totally.
is that it is becoming dangerous. People are being injured in these things. But we know the goal. The goal of all of this
people are being injured by who? Or diapers, I guess.
Is that it may help them at the ballot box. If they can convince enough people that something as crazy as allowing criminals back out on the streets is acceptable,
Ain't no way.
then maybe it's going to help people come November during these midterms.
It's hard to believe. The Department of Homeland Security with a firm warning after the Coast Guard intercepted an overcrowded boat carrying 240 Haitians near Turks and Caicos.
Wait, what? Wait. How did we get here?
Warning after the Coast Guard intercepted an overcrowded boat carrying 240 Haitians near Turks and Caicos.
That looks so miserable. Do you not look at this situation and be like, what would it take for me to get on that boat? Like, what kind of conditions would I need to be like suffering from to get on a boat like this and just pray that something better's on the other side? What happened to people's empathy? It's got to be the lead poisoning, right? Like the lead poison generation just destroyed us. They collect diapers to give out to the families of the Oh, I thought you meant for the protesters. I was like imagining a bunch of protesters wearing diapers, and I'm like, no. You got to be more specific. But yeah, you're right. No, the funding goes towards like diapers and formula and all that good stuff for like the families of the detainees. You're right. I was thinking of funding specifically for the protests though. No, it's fine. I was just very confused. I was like, I guess maybe, but like that'd be kind of weird.
The CBP commissioner said the boat was actually in danger of sinking. It had so many people on it. Look at it.
Wow.
DHS posted, quote, "Our borders are closed, whether by land or sea, and if you try to enter our nation illegally, we will hunt you down and find you." I mean, Laura, just look at what a flip of the switch potentially would do. Because this is political now. This is not for the well-being of the people on a ship that's nearly going down or a boat that's nearly going down. No, it's about politics.
Well, it's always been about politics, unfortunately, for the Democrats. I'd say we're so lucky to have a president.
They always like say it's politics. Yeah, like everything's politics, dude. What are you talking about? Everything's politics. Feeding children is considered political. And if you think I'm lying, look no further than the Republican politicians that try to keep children from being fed in our schools. They say it's a moral crime.
Who is putting America first, who is concerned about our citizens and ensuring that we are safe here at home. We know that the 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration were a disaster. We let so many people in this country unchecked. How many people on the terror watch list? How many people?
Biden, and it's so funny to me. I'll say it over and over, and we're actually about to have a conversation with somebody about the Democrats. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, the Democrats are so ballless and dickless when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like they still toe the Republican line about oh well, yeah, we should be worried about like too many people coming in here. We should be worried about immigration for sure. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, that's what people want to hear, right? And then the conservatives turn around and demonize them anyway and say that no, actually Biden opened the borders, when that could not be further from the truth. Okay, it would have been pretty based if he did, to be honest. I wish that they were like half the communists, like a quarter, an eighth. I could even keep going of the communists that they keep saying the Biden administration was. We would live in a much better world.
Are now, part of gangs bringing illicit drugs in our country that they allowed in. This president wants to get them out, and he wants to keep them out. And those folks, by the way, the elected Democrat officials that are at that facility in Newark, New Jersey, share.
This is supposed to scare you, by the way. You know what this does to me? It like screams at me that these people need help. You don't just get like, this is 2026 here. You don't get on a boat like this in 2026 if you are not in dire circumstances.
Booker and all the rest of them, they know the laws of the land. These are not Donald Trump's laws. They're the laws on the books.
Anyway, I've heard enough. I think I've had enough. I'm not going to watch the rest of this. It's just going to make me angry. Here, actually, wait, what's this? Hold on. I was skipping through. Maybe I will watch some more.
Going viral for this exchange with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
Okay.
He was testifying on the Iran war and the economy. Watch.
This is totally off
Do you
topic,
agree
but whatever.
with President Trump that you also do not care about Americans' financial situations?
Ooh, good question. We haven't talked about that either. Yeah, Donald Trump literally was just like, oh yeah, no, I don't care about, like, I'm not thinking about people's financial situations. I just want to bomb the f out of Iran.
Is the president
Word for
during
word.
World War I?
Can you,
No,
are you refusing to answer my question?
No, I'm asking, who was the president during World War I?
Relevance? Relevance?
I don't know, but clearly you
So
are
you
not
don't know who the
answering my
president during
question.
World War I was.
So,
But let me tell
so
you.
I'm clearly getting the idea that you do not want to
Oh,
answer whether you agree
I'm
with
happy.
President
That's completely off topic. For the record, I don't know either.
that you do
I'm
not
happy
care
to-
about Americans' financial situations.
President Trump does care about Americans' financial situation.
Well, he actually said that he doesn't.
President
That's
Woodrow
true.
Wilson, who was president during World War I, the Germans did not attack us. That he got into that. It was
Or
a
you're
war-
not answering the
it was a
question,
war
so
of-
let me ask
He's not
this.
answering the
And I
question.
guarantee
Was your
you,
prediction
President
that Americans
Woodrow
would
Wilson
face
felt the same.
only
See, this is what they always do. They think they think that this makes them look good. They're just trying to get like epic debate dunks. You don't know who the president during World War I was? That's crazy, ma'am. Okay, you know what's crazier? Our current president saying he doesn't give a f about our financial situation. Thanks, man. Why the f did people vote for him then?
50 days of temporary elevated prices wrong.
A new opinion piece takes.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Anyway, that didn't, even with their cut version of that, it's getting more and more clear by the day that they cannot spin this to look good for them. They literally just have to point at us and call us stupid and say like that's good enough. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ICE facilities because I haven't touched on it in a while. Like I said, like I keep saying, I'm going to keep trying to educate myself on this stuff more, do a better job of you know, doing just a little bit of reporting. We do a little reporting just as a treat, right? On news and stuff going on in the world. I think that's important. Hi, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you all know that I love and appreciate everybody in my community, whether you can support me financially or just by liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. It helps way more than you know. That being said, I do want to give a very special thanks to my tier 4 subs, which would be Space Timid and Hot Take Andy. And thanks so much to my monetary subscribers from any of the tiered subs or anybody who gives me money in any form, including going to my Patreon shop, donating money to me directly. It all helps way more than you know. If you do decide to help me financially, you can get some really cool perks like early access to content, exclusive access to censored videos, also some really cool badges next to your name. Even if you can't afford a monetary subscription, just watching, sharing, and commenting on my content helps way more than you know. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.